Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. And today I wanted to dig in a little bit more about Invisalign attachments. And this is going to be a video that's going to build on the other videos that I've made that are within my Invisalign channel, which are in my YouTube channel. If you don't know how to get there, you can go to my link tree or my website, Straightsmile Solutions. You can go to just YouTube and type in the search bar Straight Smile Solutions. It'll take you to my channel, which has about 1,600 plus videos. And it's pretty obvious. That's my channel. And then if you scroll down on the homepage of that YouTube channel, you're going to see an Invisalign playlist. There's over 300 videos to date in there, and you can click around or you can search by keyword. If you go to the right towards the top, there's a little magnifying glass. If you're on a tablet or on a phone, you're going to have to kind of scroll and you put in Invisalign, attachments. Should bring up everything related to that. You need to watch all those first before you listen to this, or this isn't going to make any sense. So anyways, just to recap, I'm actually pretty bullish about Invisalign attachments. Part of one of the reasons that I use this system and a couple other systems and I don't use other systems, because I find that as long as I have picked the case properly, I have staged the case properly, I have timed the case properly. And if you don't know what any of this is, you need to watch all the videos in my Invisalign channel, which are free. And as long as I've set up a virtual accountability loop, my cases go predictably, and I generally don't fool around with the attachments. Whatever the AI or the software says I need, it works. So why are people switching out, doing all these weird, I need this horizontal beveled 5mm attach? Why are you guys doing this? You guys are doing extra work. You don't need to do this. Trust me, I've seen done a lot of cases. And oops, I forgot to give my disclaimer. Oh yeah, you guys get to listen to this. If you don't like it, you can skip. I don't know how long it's going to take though. My lawyers require me to put this disclaimer on each and every single video that talks about Invisalign and or might show a screenshot of something from Invisalign. Now, ultimately, I don't work for Invisalign Align Technology, never taken a cent from them, never have, never will. I like it. It's a great aligner company, and that's just kind of our relationship. It has been a rocky relationship in the past. Unfortunately, they threatened to sue me before. Fortunately, I've had to spend money on lawyers, so now I get to put this disclaimer in front of every video, which is, hi, Align Technology. I'm just a humble dentist who happens to help other dentists and educate them about ortho. Part of ortho, of course, is clear aligners. Part of clear aligners, of course, is your brand of clear aligners, Invisalign. So my goal is to educate doctors in an unbiased way. I have found, again, this is my clinical opinion based on some of the research that I've done, that some of the courses that are taught by Invisalign are not entirely unbiased and aren't always feeding you the right information or the most efficient information. That is just my opinion as an orthodontist of 20 years. 19 years, dentist of 22 years. I just think it could be better because I see a lot of these doctors and they've been kind of indoctrinated or brainwashed by some of these engine courses, and they come back to me and I'm like, what the heck are they teaching you? Let's unlearn it all. Let's start all over. And to be honest, the best education, which is why I recommend this, and you can do this for free, so I'm not even selling anything, is you need to learn straight wire first, braces. I don't care if you don't do it, you need to learn it. You also need to learn phase 1 first. Phase 1 appliances, functional appliances, airway appliances. Learn that first. Don't care if you don't do it. Just learn it. Then you go learn aligners. And you guys are doing it backwards. You guys are doing it the wrong way. You're never going to understand how to do this if you do it the wrong direction. That's what orthodontists do. We all learned straight wire first. We all learned phase 1 first. Then we learned aligners after. And guess what? It makes sense because I use all the principles. You're never going to understand it. So anyways, that's what I have to say. Now, if you do want CE credit, I do have 2 courses that are actually very affordable. They're like less than $500 for like 13 CE units for phase 1. And straight wire, you don't have to do anything. You just sit and watch. I mean, it's a bunch of my YouTube videos in a mashup with CE units in a logical order. So you can also just get the free information by looking at my straight wire playlist and my phase 1 playlist. It's the same stuff. It's just not in a logical order. So, and you don't get CE. I really don't care how you learn it. Just learn it first. Okay. So now that we've said all that, and anyways, Invisalign, if you don't like this video, you don't like what I say, you're welcome to ask me to remove it. Now, of course, this is only benefiting you. I mean, I'm paying to put this out. I'm paying to market this. I'm paying to edit this. I'm paying for the content, I'm paying for the graphics, and you're getting the referrals. So you'd be insane if you asked me to take this down, but you've done it before, so I'm not surprised. So if you want me to take it down, it cannot be a territory manager, office manager, some type of manager, operations manager. It has to be someone from your C-suite team. I know your emails, so I know you know mine. Shoot me an email if you want me to take it down. Thank you. But then I'm not putting another one up, so it'll be a big gap. All right. But anyways, but if your lawyers come to me, I will post the letter from your lawyers all over my social media. I've done it before with other vendors. I don't think you're going to like it. So probably not a great idea. Just tell me to take it down. All right. Anyways, let's get to the nitty gritty of it. So, like I said, I actually fully believe in their AI. Now, the more difficult the case, if you have like a crazy hard case, like there's all kind of issues that when we talk about hard, what's hard? Cases with AP issues, anterior posterior issues, your class 2, class 3. Cases with vertical issues, deep bites, open bites. Cases with transverse issues. Cases with impacted teeth, that's hard. Cases with teeth that need to be uprighting, that's hard. Cases with massive amounts of crowding or spacing, 12 to 15 millimeters, those are all hard. So if you have a case that's like kind of unpredictable, their AI might not fully get it. So you can't assume that you're going to get from A to Z in one round. And even if you did, it's probably going to be like 100 aligners. You're going to need multiple refinements on those cases. So in those cases, maybe not as predictable with the attachments. But I don't necessarily think switching them around is going to help you. I generally go with what they say. There's a few things that I do just to double check. So, and I don't even switch out any attachments or you guys are putting crazy stuff in your preferences. Take it out. Take everything out of your preferences. If you want me to help you with your preferences, that's a service that we can offer just as a one-off for a small fee, or to all of our concierge and VIP doctors, we offer it for free. We will go through your preferences and we will clean them up. And if you've been doing engine training, you're going to have all kind of junk in your preferences that is just screwing up your cases. Again, in my clinical opinion, because I've seen this happen 100 times, literally 100 times. Take it all out. All you're doing is slowing down your cases by having preferences in there. Okay, so all you do is, of course, your first steps, you want to figure out how you're going to move the teeth. You need to tell them how you're going to move the teeth. Do I want IPR? Do I want flaring? Do I want proclination? Do I want expansion? Do I want sequential distalization? Do I want a lower incisor extraction? Do I want premolar extractions? How do I want to move these teeth? You need to drive the bus. You tell them how to drive the bus. They set it up. Then once they do that, if I like the rough movements, I'm going to double it. You guys know that if you listen to my videos, double it, either double or 2.5, make it a lot longer. That slows down the movements per aligner, makes it way more predictable. Then, and I also double check the bite at the end. Then I'm going to go in and double check. I'm going to look for any black and blue dots. Okay, there's a sample of a black and blue dot. That is Invisalign's notification that it's a challenging movement on that tooth. I'm going to hover my mouse over that black and blue dot, and it's going to tell me what it is. If it's an intrusion, still might be challenging, but probably doesn't need an attachment. But anything else, torque, root correction, rotations, extrusion, that needs a massive attachment. Then I ask for the biggest possible attachment. I don't usually tell them what type. I let them decide. You can see here, they gave me a big vertical attachment. Here, they gave a beveled attachment. That's great. Why? Well, because if you have an unpredictable movement, you're going to have tracking issues. So you want to have the biggest possible attachment you can put on there. Then what I do is I go, after I look for the blacks and blues, I go up to the TMT, tooth movement table. I look for, obviously my eyes are pretty trained. If I watch an animation, I can see if there's movements that seem strange, and maybe are less than predictable. And then I make sure I have a really large attachment on it. If something is crazy rotated, like a premolar, or even a molar, sometimes I'm going to put a yin-yang attachment on. A yin-yang attachment, you can look in my channel, is a buccal and a palatal attachment, or a buccal and a lingual attachment. I'm going to have a double attachment, one on one side, one on the other. That really helps with rotations. We do that all the time in braces, and that's why I want you to take the braces course, because it's the exact concept that we use in braces. And you're not going to understand it in aligners unless you understand it in braces. And I do have that movement in my braces straight wire channel or in my braces straight wire course. I'm going to look at the TMTs, and even though they picked up supposedly the blues and blacks, I'm going to look for subtle blues, ones that maybe didn't get flagged as blues, but are still movement. So I'm going to look for, especially on if I started with a posterior open bite, I'm going to look at all the molars and see if it needs extrusions. If they do, I'm going to make sure I have an attachment on those teeth. I'm going to ask for attachments, especially at refinements. But that's about it. And then, any laterals, your upper laterals, Your 7 and 10, your upper 2s, if they are rotated, I'm always going to put an attachment on it. And they don't always default that. So that's something I will always ask for every time, all the time. I don't do attachments. I don't do attachmentless aligners, like never. So it just doesn't work, especially anterior attachmentless aligners. And a lot of you are making promises that you can't keep. So just say no. If they want to do that, they can go DTC, you know, and then if it doesn't work, that's on them. So do not start a case where they're refusing attachments. It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be unpredictable. It's going to take them 3 times as long as you expected, and the patient's going to be mad because you promised them something that you can't deliver. So, and if you really want to do that, you'll have more luck in a clear correct, which has a higher trim line and a more firm material. I'm not saying you can do it, but I'm saying you'll have more luck. So, all right, hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much.